here we are with History International Film Festival Austria of this year's format. We're here with Clement Horvath, the guy behind Till the Job is Done. You can already see in the background what kind of film he has done and submitted to our festival. Clement, if you don't mind, would you introduce yourself and a little bit and tell us a little bit about your film, your production, and what awaits us if we watch your submission?
Yes, thank you very much for having me, first of all. I'm really happy to take part in this beautiful festival. Well, I'm French. I'm a collector, historian, and video maker. And I specialize in World War II correspondences, so letters from Allied soldiers in particular. And I've been doing that for almost 20 years now. I've written books, and my latest is a book called Till the Job is Done. It's about an officer in the 4th Infantry Division, an American officer who served from Normandy to Germany. And after I finished the book, I thought that, you know, there was still some work to be done. I wanted to go even further, and I decided to produce a documentary in which I would go in his footsteps all the way from Utah Beach to the Hürtgen Forest in Germany, where he was wounded. And it was a wonderful adventure and experience because I met so many fellow historians, veterans, witnesses of the events, interviewed them, and really went to the places he fought at. Like I explored bunkers, foxholes, like all the battlefields from World War II that I had never visited before. So that was an incredible experience, and I wanted to translate that into film, so that I could bring the viewer along with me in his footsteps, with voiceovers of the letters he wrote being read, and reenactors, with big battle scenes and stuff like that, and special effects. I had a lot of fun doing that, but it was a challenge also because I did everything on my own. I was in front and behind the camera, and doing everything from sound effects to the editing, the writing, all the research, obviously, and all the way to bullet impact in the action scenes. So that was a lot of stuff to do, a lot of work. It was almost 3 years in the making, but that was an incredible experience.
I guess so. It sounds like a mammoth project.
Yeah.
We recently you see a lot of smaller video game productions where one person makes the whole production, but you rarely see stuff like that in film because it's most of the time a project that can only exist in collaboration because, as you mentioned, there are so many jobs to do. So where comes this energy from?
Well, I'm kind of a control freak, and I really had a vision of what I wanted to accomplish. I knew exactly how I wanted to film this, how I wanted to approach it, and I wanted to tell a story that had never been told before, and in my own way. So it's easier when you're with people and stuff, but I could make my own choices, and I really made the film that I wanted to make. It's something that it's not possible when you're working with all people. You have to make compromises and stuff like that. And I really wanted to tell his story the way it was supposed to be told, in my opinion. So yeah, that was a challenge because. It's when you're shooting some scene in the forest, you're on your own in the Hürtgen Forest, which is very scary and dark forest. But you're on your own, and you have to shoot a scene where you're walking all the way in the background, and then you have to run for the camera to pick it up again and do another shot, and it takes a lot of time when you're on your own. But it's fun. It's fun to do, and yeah. yeah, that was a challenge for sure. Yeah.
So you did actually film yourself. You didn't have a cameraman.
No, no, I filmed myself. So that I had to use a lot of tricks to have myself in focus. I used tree branches and stuff like that to make the focus, and then go in front of the camera. And yeah, and of course I had some bad surprises. When I started the editing part. So a lot of stuff I had to correct and find creative solutions to hide some mistakes that I'd made. So it forces you to be creative, and I really enjoy working on my own for that sort of things. It's not as interesting if you have a lot of money and a whole crew. And well, of course you may have other problems, but at least it forces you to be creative, and this is really what I like about filmmaking. It's finding solutions to problems that arise from nowhere, stuff you haven't planned. And I didn't know what to expect, of course, because it was not shooting that I had planned a lot. I didn't know what I was getting into. I never went to the Hürgen Forest, for example. So I didn't have a specific thing in mind. I was really visiting these places for the first time. So I discovered them, while I was filming. So yeah, I had to improvise most of the time, and that was a lot of fun.
I guess the working field you did this film about, the material, the historical, is something that still haunts you a lot and still drives you on a lot. So will your next productions, I guess you will gonna make more of these, be about an aching topic or something similar, or will it be something that develops from the point you are now, or will it be something completely different?
It will be about World War II letters. Obviously, that's my thing. And I continue doing them because, like I said, the results are surprising, and it's always an incredible experience because I find the families all over the world after that. To ask for permission and get to know the soldier better and everything. But my previous film was called The Missing Highlander, and it was about a British soldier who went missing during the Normandy campaign, and nobody knew what had happened to him for almost 80 years. And I decided to film the whole research process and dug into the archives, and it was even worse than Till the Job is Done, because I didn't even know if I would find the answer I was looking for. So I was really working in the dark and not knowing what would be the outcome of that. But it turned out that I had actually found the solution, and even managed to pay a big tribute to this soldier. He now has a monument on the exact place where he was killed, because I found out that he was killed there. And the whole family came all the way from the UK to see the new monument and everything. So that was just a small project that I had started during COVID, and became this huge thing where there's now a monument in Normandy about this guy that I never heard of before, and nobody heard about him. So it always starts small with a simple letter, like I have letters everywhere in my office, but it always starts with this simple piece of paper, and it develops into a huge thing, with so many people involved, the families of the soldiers, all the veterans, and the public, which always love to who always love to know more about this man, especially this year, as we're celebrating the 80th anniversary of D-Day and the liberation and everything. So yeah, I will keep on working on that, and I'm currently releasing mini documentaries every month in a series called War Correspondences on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and everything. So I'm still heavily involved in that. And for the future, I have a lot of plans. I have a fourth book on the way, and probably a feature length movie that I would like to make. But one thing at a time, that's how you eat a whale, piece by piece.
Feature length film. Will you make it as a one-man show again, or will you do it with a team?
Will we director, cameraman, and everything yourself?
I have no idea. I know a lot of talented people. It might be a teamwork this time. I don't know. I want it to be a new experience anyway. I don't want to do the same thing every time because I get bored, and I want to have new challenges and everything. So maybe I'll try something with other people. I don't know yet. It's right now I'm focused on this new series and the new book. But yeah, I'll see. I don't know. I don't want to rush things anyway. So I'll see.
Yeah, there are usually two approaches. One is to make the team bigger and bigger with every production, and so start growing and connecting. And the other one, which goes simultaneously with the first one, is to have a more familiar team that works over many projects with one another. So you are kind of a special snowflake when it comes to the production way, which is really nice.
Not necessarily just the camera team, but also the actors and reenactors, which are already fitted out with the Second World War gear. That's probably interesting.
If people find letters at home, World War II letters, can they send them to you? Shall they?
Well, it's difficult to say because it's really hard to find interesting letters. You had censorship, and the soldiers even censored themselves, while writing the letters because they want to worry their families at home. So most of the letters are extremely boring with only personal content, and my whole work for the last 20 years has been to find interesting testimonies in these letters, which are extremely rare. It's really rare that a soldier wants to share everything from fear, losing friends, his views on the population and everything, because he knows that his letter will probably be cut off or censored. So most of the letters are not interesting. So I don't want to commit to somebody, like, yeah, I'm going to publish them or something. I want to find them myself first, find the interesting content, and then if it's interesting, I have to research the soldier story, and then I try to look for descendants to ask for permission and try to learn more and everything once I am sure that I'm going to publish them. And for these soldiers, until this officer, until the job is done, in fact, I bought the letters. Look, they are all here. I bought the letters on eBay, and I didn't expect something great. I never do. Most of the time, it's not really interesting. But this time, I thought that maybe I would use one or two letters in a future book, something. And every time I was reading the letters, he was sharing everything. Like he was writing to his wife, and he was not afraid of censorship because he was censoring his own mail as an officer, and he didn't care about worrying his wife. So he wrote about war crimes from both sides. He wrote about losing people to mines, snipers, what it was like really living on the front line. And every time I was, putting a letter apart, I was like, okay, I have to keep this letter. It's interesting. And then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And it was like, okay, I have this huge pile of letters that are fascinating, and it's so rare that I thought, okay, this time he won't be one of the many soldiers honored in my books and everything. He will have his own book, because there's so much content and in such and such good quality that it deserves its own thing. So that's how it became a book about this officer, and then the movie. But it's really rare. Most of the time, there's one letter out of 1,000 that is really, really interesting. So if people have interesting letters, of course I'm interested. But I can't commit to anybody, because I can promise that I will use them. And most of the time I don't. Yeah. And I think a lot of people must see that, because the message is important. It might be about war. It's in fact about peace. It's about the real experience of the soldier, who's not a Rambo, assaulting a beach with a knife between his teeth. It's a regular guy having a regular job that is thrown into the hell of war because he has to. They're civilians in uniform more than soldiers, and so we can really connect to them, and it could be us, and especially right now with the situation in the world, it's important to remind people that war is not romantic. It's not what you see in the films. It's not. It's hell, and nobody should go through that again. So yeah, I want to share it with as many people as possible. That's the plan, and I hope it will touch as many people, as possible as well. His story really touched me, because this guy was my age, the age I was when I was writing the book, and he was expecting his first child, exactly like me. I was expecting my first son at the time of the writing, but I was in the comfort of my home while he was in the foxhole in Germany being shelled. So you see the difference, like how lucky we are to live in the free world, how lucky we are to live in peace, while war is just right next to us right now, and it could reach us sooner than we expect. So it's important to remind people that peace deserves to be preserved, and that our freedom has a price as well.
Thanks for sharing your inputs, your information about the film, and also your moral message with us, Clement. I think now everybody will be eager to watch your film. And what I want to tell you now for the ending is that we really appreciate that you value your sources so much, because every film here has to respect the source, where it pulls the ideas and its historical background from, and you do that in a very special way. So thank you a lot for submitting to our festival and letting us show your film. It's a great pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you so much.